Hi, and welcome to the Middle Room Workshop. And this is the Remarkable Tablet 1. Today, I'm going to share with you a honest review of 2.5 years of use. Without further ado, let's get into Remarkable. For those of you who don't know, Remarkable is a note-taking tablet that uses the same technology found on ebook readers with this e-ink display, together with an input panel for touch and stylus that has been finished with a texture that when you write in it with the stylus, it feels exactly like if you're writing on paper. So the friction and also the noise that it produces, it's like if you're writing on paper. Now, why would you consider buying one of these and to replace your typical notebook with pen or your typical tablet with the LCD screen or an e-reader, an ebook reader? So the reason for that is that obviously it's an option. So if, for example, you are reading lots of ebooks or digital content, you could switch to this. This would be a viable option. But I will give you my own reason on why I've chosen to switch to a digital note-taking device rather than a notebook. I'm a paper person. That means that I love writing on paper, and I love to write in general. I like to take notes, and I'm very well organized with it. The problem is, and that's actually the reason why this device came along, is that every year I was using one agenda. Okay. To begin with, when I started to work, I was using the large A4 formats agenda with 1 day per page. That means 365 pages. And then I've switched to a A5 smaller agenda with only the weekend, two days in one page. So that got already a little bit smaller. But the problem with it is that every single year, at the end of the year or the beginning of the next, I was taking my entire agenda where I had many notes, the signs, calculations and ideas, and I was scanning it so that I could have digitalized and then have it ready in case I would have need to go back to something that I've done in the past. Similarly, like particular tables and things that I would have used commonly in my day-to-day work, I was basically keeping on the back part of the agenda like a small envelope with with useful things. So that means that I was carrying around other paper. So that's when I started to look for something that could replace my regular agenda and my typical, note-taking experience. So I had no idea at the time, so I started to look on it, and I found this manufacturer, along with other manufacturer like Onyx Books, I think is called, which let's say, which is a good competitor, but is producing something that is, in my view, different in segment. So what attracted me about the Remarkable tablet was this paper-like feeling that there were much advertising. And I have to say that yes, you actually can feel this paper-like. And the thing is that it wasn't the ideal, let's say, agenda to work, because ideally I actually would have liked to be able to receive my emails there so that I could take notes on it and to have a smoother workflow. But what they did with Remarkable is it was to have a distraction-free device, which in a way I agree, because it's targeted also to students and people that they really need not to have any distractions. So the idea of isolating the device and to keep the Wi-Fi only for synchronizing your notebooks, your PDFs, your EPUB, or recently now you can also send your note directly over the email. So I think that was actually a good choice from their side. But in my particular experience and my particular needs, I believe that having the choice to have access to your work or study email would have been a very good thing. Also, another thing that I believe would have been great still to improve the workflow is to have the capability to read docs, Excel's file, and PowerPoint's presentation. Also, you can only see them in black and white, or actually in gray shades, but still that would be a big difference in your daily work, daily job. From when I received it, it's been a long way. I mean, Remarkable have tried to improve the tablet as much as they could, and I've received many updates, and they really brought on board a great improvement from day one. And I have to say, I was very happy when they introduced this the option to copy content, and not only across pages but also across notebooks. Then they introduced the bin, so if you would have accidentally deleted something, and then they introduce and also improved performances overall, of course, because the device is a single processor, so it's not as performant as you are used to with a regular tablet or smartphone or other note-taking devices like the Onyx books. But I can say that it handles pretty much everything very well. And I've been also opening quite heavy engineering drawings, construction drawings that we're talking about 5 to 10 megabytes PDF file, so with lots of details, vectorials, components, and it's been handling it quite okay. It's gonna take some time to load it, but really you can work with it. So there are a few things that they're still missing, and I've personally sent a request to them at the time, which would have been great, and that's because of my work, because I'm an engineer, so it would be great for me to have some simple drawing tools, like a simple square, a circle, or a straight line. It would have been a great thing to be able to implement that into the Remarkable, so that when you want to conceptualize something, you can actually do it. I don't know if they are planning to do so in the future. I really hope they will introduce this. It's gonna be for me a great thing, but yeah, in the time being I still can work around with it. I'm often drawing what I need to do on AutoCAD, and then I'm converting it into PDF. I'm actually plotting it out directly into A5 format, which is the one that get closer to the size of the screen, so that then I can do my theorem or whatever, anything that I want to work out. The other thing is the memory. The memory is limited. At least that's what I thought when I bought it, but to date I think I haven't even reached the half of it, and I have tons of different PDF files. I have I have I don't know, thousands and thousands of pages of handwriting, designs, sketches, anything like that. I haven't gotten any EPUB, but that's not something that I particularly um, care about. Um, Last year they launched the second version of the Remarkable tablet, and I have to say I wasn't particularly excited about it. The only thing that I like is the fact that they have this nice sleek design. Okay, being thinner maybe, and I think overall the biggest thing is also having finally USB-C integrated instead of the micro USB that is in this device. But nothing to blame to Remarkable One, as it's a device designed back on 2016, so the USB Type-C was still, was gradually being introduced. It wasn't so common as today. But the thing that I'm not happy with is that they have basically made the device thinner. Okay, not sure how thinner, but it's a little bit thinner than this one. The thing that I'm not happy with is the actual screen real estate and the screen to body ratio, because what they did is they basically removed the buttons from the bottom over here, okay, and they moved the screen slightly upwards, so basically here the bezel is thinner on the top, okay, and then there is a thick strip here. So what I think they did basically to have a thinner device, they moved here over to the side the battery and the circuitry, which means that ultimately you get, yes, a thinner device, not by much, but larger with the same screen size. So I'm not really happy about this idea. Other than that, the system, actually the interface is pretty much unchanged. So everything that you currently see in the Remarkable One, it's basically unchanged, which means basically that you would spend, I mean this one, it works just fine, and I haven't had any problem whatsoever with it. So the only, once I know that the only difference is just it got thinner, but at the same time it got wider, and the interface is exactly the same, I don't see the reason to spend, even though it's actually cheaper. The version 2 is actually cheaper than the version 1. I paid this one back on it was December 2018 when I ordered it, and I paid it 600 euros, and I had to wait for a month to get it. And now the new Remarkable, if I'm not wrong, it's I think something like 399, which is an improvement overall in the price as well. Many people were complaining about it actually, but I think that once they monetize, now they can actually squeeze a little bit more in the profit. So I basically don't see any benefit in upgrading to the version 2 of Remarkable. The thing that definitely it's changing is the performance. It got a little bit faster, and that's because now it comes with dual core CPU. So basically everything loads faster, refresh rate and everything else. Other than that is exactly the same thing. So now let's go to the most interesting question about reason why you're here. Would I recommend it? I would say yes, but so I would say yes because if you're a person that is taking lots of notes and also is reading lots of documents, I think it's the great solution. Apart looking professional, when I'm going to a meeting and everybody's staring at this tablet, because everybody's, despite how beautiful and expensive can be this later handcrafted agenda, this looks way more interesting to them. So what I wanted to say is that basically it's a great thing. You don't have to worry about taking anything else apart this. The other thing is that, and this is very nice, I cannot show you now here on the computer, but you basically got, let me show you guys, you also get, there you go, you also get the phone interface, okay, which is something cool, and you can basically upload things from here directly into your Remarkable tablet. The other thing is that on Microsoft Edge and on Google Chrome, I'm not sure about Firefox, I haven't tried that out, they have integrated a plugin, an extension, whereby if you're reading a blog post, if you're reading on a website, you can click on it, and it's basically converting the file and uploading it directly into your Remarkable tablet. So once you power up your Remarkable tablet and it's connected to the Wi-Fi, you will basically find your file there. However, not the content is not taken in the exact way it's visualized online. I think it's cropping a little bit, and it's just taking the actual, H tags and paragraphs and some of the images in line, but I think it's leaving aside everything that is not following the structure of the HTML. So you have also the desktop application, which looks pretty much the same like in the phone, and everything is basically synchronized. They have a proprietary cloud where you can have all your notes backed up, so basically you are covered. So just to give you an example, when I'm receiving an email, if I'm receiving some file that needs to be read, I'm just downloading it, I'm putting it onto the Remarkable desktop app, and then this automatically synchronizes. So I basically then can power down my computer, or I can just take the tablet, go drink a coffee and read what I have to read. Well, that of course will require some extra step in case the file is not a PDF, but that's not a problem. With Office, just open the file in whichever native application, convert it into PDF, and you're good to go. If you have the chance, and actually this is a recommendation, if you have to export it to be read on Remarkable, I would suggest you to format it into A5, because that will be the format that get the closest possible to the screen size and ratio of the Remarkable tablet. So if you're a person that it's taking lots of notes and is also traveling a lot, maybe you're working, you're also reading a lot of documents, standards, and why not, of course, reading also your pleasure books, so in the evening, before going to bed, I would definitely recommend it for that. Definitely there are trade-offs that comes with it, and one of the biggest trade-off, in my opinion, is that the feeling is not 100% accurate. Despite all the effort they put into this device, and despite the fact it actually feels like you're writing with the pencil on paper, still I think, and I believe it's something that it will never reach the the point where you can say I'm writing on paper. And that's because, for example, there is something that the tablet cannot offer, and is like the surface sinking under the pressure of the tip of your pen or pencil. And another trade-off definitely is the fact that not much that is a black and white device, but you don't have the opportunity to take colorful notes. And person like me, it's always been has always been carrying around a set of 4-color pens, so the regular black, blue, red, and green. And I always been using them all in taking my notes, and especially when I've been studying or conceptualizing something. It's good just to give a little bit of highlights around the things. So if that's something that you don't mind, of course, I would definitely recommend the tablet, especially now with the Remarkable version 2. Despite, as I said, is not that appealing for me, meaning that there is not much of a difference from the one that I already own. But definitely, if you have to buy, if you're planning on buying a Remarkable today, of course I would recommend you to go with the Remarkable 2 who wants to buy an older version. I say but because, as I said, the feeling is not it will never replace the actual experience of writing on paper. And recently I found myself writing some notes on a typical notebook, which means that somehow I miss the experience of writing. And especially when you get a nice pen with nice fluid smooth ink that you can write with. So should you buy it? Yes, it all depends on what is your scope. I would definitely recommend you searching around and try to make the difference with other devices, and if you would be interested in having a full Android system running under the hood. So that means taking on board all the applications and all the feature that you have in a typical smartphone, and also the price tag, and also recently something that I'm actually waiting from Remarkable side is to produce the Remarkable color, because now there are already few models of color e-ink display. So I really look forward into that, and that's actually what I'm waiting before spending extra money in a device that right now looks and feel pretty much the same. Alright, and that's my honest review about the Remarkable tablet. If you have any comment, leave them below. If you liked the video, I hope you found the video useful. Click the thumbs up button below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more video like this one. Ciao for now!